First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick, probably levels adjustment here, which will allow me to brighten up a little bit, only a little bit, and color balance. Now, quick cheat for color balancing: if you throw a hue saturation layer on top and you crank up the color, you'll be able to see what colors that actually is. Which maybe my nose is a little bit red. Shouldn't be. Never mind. There's a cocaine joke there somewhere. Let me make sure I recorded that part. All right. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say it's a bit cyan. So the opposite of cyan is red. And I'm going to adjust this. And I can just click here and do point by point. I'll zoom out a little bit while I do this. That's too red. That's too blue. All right, I'm going to correct the blue first, because I think we need a lot less blue. So I'm going to go down until it starts looking yellow, which now it's looking yellow. And I'll go back until the yellow disappears, and go back until I start seeing the yellow, and then kind of find a center point. And now I'll go back and do my reds, because I still feel like my face is too red. But if I go down too far, then everything's going to look cyan, which is bluish. Which I think right about there is probably good. Then when I turn back off my hue saturation, you can see the before and after. Right? Now, it is a bit underexposed, I think, and I'm seeing like a little posterization over here. But we're going to just go with what we can. I'm going to go just a tad bit darker. So, what do you think? Good? Yeah? Yeah, yeah. All right. So when you all are done editing and you submit them, I'll try to match the color balance between all of them before I actually print them. So, if you want to neutralize some of the color, easier to do in Lightroom. Feel free to do it that way. But and in fact, what I probably should have done is the background should be neutral. And if I just grab an eyedropper and click on the background, that would actually probably work quicker. Now I am getting a little weird kind of cyan versus red here because it's a little bit underexposed. But I think that will work fine. And I'll probably add some contrast to them all before I print them because it just feels a little flat. But we'll make sure you get the recording. Yeah. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm going to take this image of me, and maybe I'll take this one, and this one, and this one, and then these are duplicates, I believe. Yeah, we don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. So I'm going to take, let's see, I can take this one. Well, that would be fun to drop the eyeballs in, except I really want to take either her face or mine. And I'm thinking I'm going to start with this one as the base. So what I can do, though, is I can take these two layers that I made, and if I just drag them over and drop them on, it's going to put that same color balancing onto the rest of these, right? And honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten these to get rid of the layers, to apply them. Oops. I got to remember what I'm doing here. Flatten image. And flatten image. Flatten image. Flatten image. Just to get them all the same. All right, so now what oops, didn't mean to do that. What I'm going to do is to grab, I think I'm going to use this as the base, and then I'll take these eyeballs, and then probably this nose and mouth, or maybe I'll take this mouth. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in now, and I got to get my tools back. I'm going to grab this is the lasso tool versus the polygonal lasso tool versus the magnetic lasso tool. I like to just freehand it. So I'm going to take, with a lot of extra room, this smile, copy it, paste it, put it relatively in the right place. Then I'm done with this one. I can close it. Then I'll grab, and I'm going to do these as separate. I'm going to grab this eye, and I'll go really broad around it because I'm probably going to have to mask it in. Copy that, paste it, and then do the same thing with the other eye. Position it relatively. You can see where this is going already, right? All right, and then I'm going to close this this file, and and you know what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, I think actually these glasses might come over, right? I'll take the eyeballs out so I can use these eyeballs, but we're gonna plop those glasses on there, and then I'm gonna just kind of freehand some facial hair. And I guess I should keep the whole like mustache here, just in case. All right. So now I can close this file because I don't need it all, and I have them all together in one spot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the eyeballs but the first one here, and I'm going to label it mouth. And I'll go through each of these. We'll call this left eye, R eye, glasses, and hair. So the good thing is that we're relatively all photographing the same distance, same zooms, same everything. So the scale of our heads is relatively the same. I mean, some people literally have wider or taller heads, but we're close in scale, so we shouldn't have to do anything major. But if I wanted to, I could just shrink it by grabbing a corner, right? I'm gonna hit escape so it doesn't lock that in. All right, so I'll start with the mouth. And this is going to be the easiest one because it's actually her mouth and her face, right? But what I'll start by doing is I'm going to put a mask on it. So I could do this one of two ways. I could make a black mask by just holding down Option and clicking on the mask, and it erases it all, right? And then I could paint in with white, grab my paintbrush, paint with white, and find the lips. Oh, here they are, right? And then go back around, and I'm going to make sure that I'm using a fairly soft brush. Oh, come on. There we go. What? Here we go. Yeah, make that brush a bit smaller. And I'm going to reposition this, but I'm just kind of getting only the lips here, right? And I'll just, well gosh, that's a great look, right? Extra lip on top. No. So I can pull that up here, and now I'm noticing that I had a bit of something over here, right? Okay. So we're already loving this look, right? Feels very natural to have no muscles actually moving, but to have a smile, right? It kind of hurts to look at, right? But basically that's the idea. So now I'll go into the eye, and maybe this time instead of putting a black mask on, I'll just put a mask on, and I'll paint with black to hide everything around it. And sometimes it's easier to just get rid of everything on the background, turning off their eyeballs, and come in here to really be able to see what you're doing. All right, now alignment is definitely something that's difficult, right? So, so one thing that you can do to try and line up alignment is change your blending mode here to difference, and then you can kind of line up where the pupil is at least, right? So that feels like the pupils are in the right spot. So now when I switch it back to normal, now it's Yeah. All right, so that's in, I think, the right place. God, I have big bags under my eyes. But I definitely need to kind of blend this shadow of the hair in. So I'm going to just take the paintbrush, and I'm actually going to lower the opacity to do this. Oh, come on. Lock that in. There we go. Now I can see this. So if I lower the opacity, it will erase some of this, but it won't erase all of it. But that there, I'm gonna cover the eyeball. The side of the eyeball looks normal now, right? Part of what it is the eye looks like it's upside down, right? But when I put the second eyeball in, well, it probably won't look right. I'm gonna take a little bit of the bag under my eye out. There we go. All right, let's put that other eye in, and let's see what we can do here. Oh, I just put a mask on the wrong one. There we go. And again, I'm going to turn off everything below it. I need to make sure I take my opacity back up to erase everything instead of blending, or instead of erasing partially. Alright, that's very disturbing now. Alright, again, take my blending mode, switch it to difference so that I can get my pupils lined up. Now, you could leave the pupils in different places if you want, but obviously you want to try and make it blend together. I can't use the word believable, right? You know, it's not going to be believable. Everybody's going to look at it and go, what the hell is going on here? But yeah. All right, so paintbrush, black, low opacity. Get that hair and that dark shadow created by the hair in. All right, so. I'm sorry. Whew. All right. Glasses, I'm just going to stick them in just for fun. And I can use a relatively hard edge now for this. I could probably actually just use a selection tool such as the magic. Well, you know, let's try the selection brush and just see what it does. I'm going to try and click. If I go around the glasses, will it grab all of this? No, it's not doing anything. Okay. All right, where's my magic wand? That's what I really want. Yeah, it's... Oh, you know what? I'm on the mask. That's probably the problem. Let me try that again. All right, that's a complete fail. All right, where's my magic wand? It's hidden. That's where it is. All right, fine. Magic wand, magic wand, magic wand. What's up? Hey. Yeah, I got the file. Didn't get a chance to print it. Yep, no problem. Take care. Magic wand. There's the magic wand tool. All right, so it's in here somewhere. If I hit W, do I get the magic wand tool? Here. There we go. All right, now I can get everything outside the glasses fairly quickly. Nope. I'm going to take my tolerance down, so hopefully it will let me grab. No, all right. All right, I tried it the cheater way. I guess I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. which is to just grab a paintbrush, and I'm going to make the brush smaller and harder so that I can get a fairly straight edge here. Now, if you click and hold shift, it's going to connect the points that you click. Have I told you all this before? Somebody tell me yes.
Yeah, I'll remember you mentioning it.
Good. Someone's awake. So I don't know if this is the right hardness, but I'm going to do it real quick. If it's not the right hardness, I'd have to go back over and do it all again. But I don't think at this scale this is going to be incredibly noticeable. I guess my glasses get a little thin there, but I'm seeing the eyeball showing through because that layer's on. There we go. So I said I'd be done by 2:30, huh? Cutting it close now, aren't I? So obviously this doesn't look like a sharp pair of glasses, so I probably would need to come back and redo them. But there we go. All right, and now I got to get the facial hair in here. So let's see what I can do here. This can be harder. But I'm gonna try it, and we'll see what I can get in 6 minutes. So let me put a mask on there. There we go. And I'm gonna get rid of everything outside here. I could do this with a little bit more refinement, but for the interest of time, I'm going to hurry. And I'm going to take my opacity down so that I can sort of blend the facial hair out. Probably should go even lower. And I don't know that the shape of my face is probably wider than hers, but we'll see what we can get here. Oh, it's covering up the smile. See how much wider my face is? All right, so edit, transform, scale. Finish cleaning up my shape here. Now the smile is showing through, and I feel like I need to darken this. So I'm going to create a curve to darken the whole thing. Only to the hair, actually, I should say, not the entire thing. So what I can do is I can right click on this layer and create what's called a clipping mask. Right here, create clipping mask, and what that does is it puts this arrow that points down. So it's only applying to this one layer. Okay? So now as I darken and I lighten, I'm only affecting that. So I don't know, maybe something like that. And I suppose maybe I need to actually get rid of the mouth here so that we can see the other mouth come through. We'll separate this into more of a mustache. This edge down here feels like too hard of an edge, I think. In fact, yeah, now we can see the hair a little bit better. There we go. See, I have what you might call an extra chin, and I don't think that we need that in this case. Yeah. Glasses are crooked, which I think my glasses are often crooked, but so I'm gonna rotate them back a little. Edit, transform. I mean, I probably should scale them a little too, huh? All right, let me rotate it first. Edit, transform, rotate. Get them a little bit more parallel with the eyebrows, but maybe if we bring them up a little, oops. If we bring the glasses up a little, maybe we'll be able to see. Why is it doing that? Yeah. Now we can see the eyebrows a little more. But maybe the thing to do is to play with the size of the glasses. Now, I could just maybe I just put the mustache in. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I prefer the beard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording now because that's pretty much it.